I was trying to think of what I'm doing every day here. What not what my goal is, but what I'm actually doing. And in a weird way, don't ask me how I thought of this, but it's as though you're in a hospital and you've been kind of out of it. And every day I come to visit you, and you haven't had any, TV or whatever. You've been kind of like hooked up. You're fine. You've just been kind of out of commission. And I come in and I tell you, this is what's going on in the world. This is what's happening today. Just so that you know. I remember one time sometimes in hospitals you see with older people, they'll say, today is Tuesday. They're right on this board. My name, your nurse is this. It's Tuesday, because people don't know what day it is. People really don't know what day it is. They lose track. What time is it? It's weird. Whenever my sleep schedule's thrown up, screwed up, I'm thinking, what day is it? What's going on? And it throws you out. Throws you out of whack. And in many respects, what I'm doing is I'm speaking to you as though you've been in a hospital and you really don't know what's going on. I mean, you think you do, but you don't, because you've been trying to drink from the fire hose. You really don't know. You don't know. There's just so much information. And the other day sometimes I just have these moments, these epiphanies, these things that hit me, and I realize, my God, nobody knows what they're talking about. We spend more time just yammering and saying nothing new, nothing different, nothing bold or scary. I mentioned this last night. What we're talking about with Israel. It has completely stopped all discussion, all logical, rational discussion about Israel, the Middle East, Hamas, Hezbollah, whatever. It's gone. It is frozen. Like Lauren Sanchez's face, which we'll get to in a moment. Now that you're going to miss the point with that one. But everything is frozen. And people, they just yammer. They don't know what to say. We're stuck in this. Somebody somewhere, Dave Portnoy, Megyn Kelly, and others must spend a fortune in PR people saying, make sure you always put me in the paper, because Dave Portnoy says nothing of importance ever. He's a moron. He's a cretin, a Boeotian, a dimwit. There's nothing zetetic, noetic, nothing about him. Nothing. He's a moron. An absolute moron, sub-mental. But I think because people say, here, just get me in there. Dave Portnoy looks at, who cares? Megyn Kelly slams somebody, and that's okay. This is just PR stuff. She must be paying a fortune for this, because what she says is really nothing interesting. Candace Owens, God bless her, going after just this anger because she's angry at herself. Going after people for some, she hates this Brigitte Macron. Why? Because Brigitte Macron is supposedly a fraud, and so is Candace Owens. She's not herself. Her whole life has been being something she's not. Do you see how this thing works? So anyway, this gets part of this, this circle. So you're in the hospital bed and you're saying, what's going on here? I said, well, let me explain this to you. And if you look at, this Lauren Sanchez, which is so interesting, Katy Perry and this sort of thing. Why is it? I can't tell you this. But if you knew what I know, what people are saying about Bezos, Katy Perry, Kim Kardashian, and Lauren Sanchez, if you knew, use your imagination. Use your imagination. Because there is this kind of like a newsy dark web that you don't get to, and you're not going to get to it, and you're not going to see it anywhere on Daily Mail or InfoWars, anything else. Never. It's behind. It's what everybody knows but can't say, what everybody is saying, and it's all there. Believe it or not, there are places for you to go to to get this information. So anyway, so we're going to be looking at that today. There's a lot of great stuff. But specifically looking at it the right way. The right way. Not the usual way, but the right way. What does it really mean? Not merely observing it, but trying to identify the specifics of what all of this means. All right, dear friends, before we begin, let us remind you that I ask you that you make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. For some reason, people become unsubscribed. We're going to be going through a variety of these. The reason why you should be subscribed is I'm going to do a little bit more lives, and I'm always mixing it up. I get sometimes bored. I think you do too. The same routine, and what about this? Bored. I'm just going to mix it up. I'm in a wild fugue, so to speak, because this, I've been kind of making a foray, I think, I guess, into radio and AM, and there's difference, and it's a different mindset, and I go from that into this into that. I cannot tell you the differences I see. You wouldn't even understand if I told you. If I told you, you wouldn't. Not because you're not smart, but you wouldn't understand how these things vary, and how we're looking at this information, and how we're really kind of stuck right now, because it's not nothing's really. It's not that nothing's happening. It's that nobody's explaining it. We're kind of stuck. We're going to be talking about that, but specifically, before we begin, I want you to listen to this important and critical word. When it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name, and now with MyPillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you. Unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper, or a back sleeper, or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. MyPillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. I noticed for the first time that I interweave between pillow, P-E-L-L-O-W, and P-I-A, pillow. I just noticed that for the first time. Always pay attention. Always pay attention, especially things that most people consider to be non-important, which is very, very important. First of all, watch this. What is outer space? When does space become outer space? We'll talk about this Lawrence Sanchez thing with a moment, but what is outer space? Watch what happens. Let me give you an example. What is outer space? What is space? If you consider, how high up do you have to go before it's space? Watch what happens. Because I want you to learn something. There's a lesson. How far? How far? How far do you have to go? What is space? What is it? What is space? What is outer space? I'm going to take a space travel. I'm going to go into the blue. We're going to go to space. What's space? 65 miles. Why? Why is that? Look at this. No oxygen. Nope. Look at what's happening. Watch what happens. Watch what just watch this. What is space? Come on. What's outer space? What is it? No oxygen. No. I mean, there's oxygen, just minimal. Okay? Outside the Earth's atmosphere? Close. Just beyond the ozone layer? Atmosphere or something? Public school failed me. You see what's going on right now? 10 miles height, 62 miles. Here's what nobody's doing. Let me see. Hey, ChatGPT, what's outer space? Nobody does that. Nobody does it. Nobody ever looks anything up and say, we'll guess forever. I don't know. You mean in space? I don't know. That defines who we are more than anything else. We don't look anything up. It's who we are. Why? Because we sit back and the world comes to us. Us in a, well, the Hannity there from the world comes to us in a blast. And we don't even, should I? No, I can't. Should I add? No, just wait. It'll tell me. I'll wait. You think I'm kidding? And it's not just you. It's kids. It's people. There's nothing. There's no investigative anything. Nobody does this today. You think I'm being cruel? We don't care. I saw something the other day, which is so sad, kind of, sort of. Younger people and most people have no sense of grammar. None. And they can't, and they don't. They still are in the world. They don't think it matters because they've been texting for the longest time, doing this stuff and using emoticons and emojis and all this kind of, and they can't speak English. I hear it all the time. So I'm saying, why don't you run your stuff through ChatGPT? No. If you don't speak English, it's okay. You don't speak English. You speak, but you can't write it. You don't know what you're writing. You're writing, we're seeing it all the time. Well, why don't you just run it through ChatGPT or Grok or anything? No, too lazy. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm exaggerating? I'm telling you, it's who we are. People they don't even stop and think, it's like, what am I doing? What's going on here? What is going on? What is this? Is this English? No. Does it matter? Yes. To whom? Not to my friends, not to me. Isn't that something? And we don't even look to see what it is. So the first thing you have to do is you have to ask people, how am I supposed to teach anybody anything if nobody has an interest? Most people just want to sit back and say, hey, did you see what I'm going to send you this video of. Who cares what this person's? What do you think? I don't think anything. I just go look at videos. I look whatever they say. Hey, have you watched that Douglas Murray Smith, whatever his name is? This nonsense, this pretend. Tell me you've seen this. You're probably not. But if you've seen this, it's like the talk of the town in our particular subgroup, our subcategory of those who were part of the, the Alex Jones-ish kind of group of people. Have you seen this one? And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And there's no, I'm going to say it for lack of a better word, the anti-Israel, anti-Zionist group, not anti-Semitic, but very, very, people who are very, very, a lot of them are American Jews, are absolutely positively just saying the same thing. They are furious. And yet again, this example of how it took this, I cannot remember this guy's, he is considered this genius. I mean, it's okay. He's good. We have two, Dave Smith. Okay. This is one of the best. Douglas Murray, who is this effete, kind of impuissant, kind of a British, who takes the conservative. His lock is, my audience is the Fox News, BB, you can call it APAC, call it whatever you want. That's it. I don't budge. I have 5 arguments. I just recycle over and over again. Okay. Then you have the Dave Smith group. He is the comedian guy who is very smart and bludgeons you and truncheons you or tries to actually win. I know you probably haven't seen this, but for the 5 people who are watching this who saw this, you'll understand what I'm saying. And they argue back and forth. Now, I'm going to give you the $1 million answer for how you handle Douglas Murray or anybody else for that matter. You ready for this? If you're interested, I'll tell you. If you're not, you're going to hear it anyway. When you want to make somebody's argument look stupid, give them the argument. For example, Dave Smith, it's Dave Smith. Yeah, okay, Dave Smith. People think he's brilliant. Oh, okay. And the same thing with Murray. Murray, of course, is a British. I think he might have been to Oxford, but he thinks he's better because he talks like this, and he talks, and he, honest to God, thinks he's smarter than everybody else. And Joe Rogan, I don't know if Joe was knocked off. If Joe thought I think Joe's one of the smartest people by virtue of his intellectual curiosity, which is what makes people the most important. White, by the way, says, I flew to New York City in September. Am I part of the crew? I don't know what that means, but thank you. I have no idea what that means, part of the crew. We'll get to that, but thank you. So I don't know if Joe Rogan knows how smart he is, because he is, but here's a trick. Remember, I'm telling you this. Whenever you go on little background, George Jones hated Buck Owens years ago. And this is in his book, I think I've Lived to Tell It All or something. It's one of the best. I loved his bio. It was terrific. And he hated Buck Owens. And Buck Owens, he was going to open for Buck Owens. He says, I'm going to open for Buck Owens. I'm the headliner. No, Buck Owens goes, Buck Owens, me opening up. Later on, George Jones wanted to open first so he can leave. I saw him one time with Randy Travis and Mohegan Sun or something, and he's on first, so he's back in the bus out of there. So later on in his, okay. So what George Jones did was he said, you want me to open for Buck Owens? Me, the legend, opening for Buck Owens? I got a tiger by the tail? What are you kidding me? Bakersfield. Okay. I'll do it. No, I'll do it. So what did he do? He sang all Buck Owens songs. He goes, there. You want to pull that again? So what did he learn? He stole his thunder. So what you do, Dave, is the next time you're on with Murray or anybody else, give Murray's argument in the most ridiculous way ever. You can say, I know, October the 7th, right? Hamas did this. This isn't brutality or genocide. This is war. They voted for Hamas anytime they want to. You just go through the list. Know his argument better than him and make it sound pedestrian, boring, worn out. Just repeat it. I know what you're saying. Okay, DEI is important because diversity is important. And even though people will necessarily be put into positions where they're not qualified, diversity is more important than ability. We have to break rules. And you just say whatever they're doing, not drippingly sarcastic, but in a way that lacks any vivacity, any kind of life. You give it back to them as though there's nothing to it at all. I know what you're talking about, the virgin birth, whatever. I'm sorry. It could be Christianity, it could be atheism, it can be outer space, anything. Take anything. I know. Trump's going to pass tariffs because China steals our intellectual property. Can't be trusted, and he's been saying it for 20 years, and it's exactly the argument. But when you say it like that, you just destroy the person, because then he says, yeah, that's exactly right. See, I told you. And the idea is that, people who are really trying, they're going on, and for example, the Joe Rogan show, just as an example, not to pursue anything, just to pursue their own worth, their own metrics. Okay. So let me go back to this question. What is outer space? How far is outer space? What does it mean? Of course, nobody's looked it up yet. The answer is there's the Kármán line. K-A, there's that asterisk, schwa, not schwa, there's an accent. Kármán, K-A-R-M-A line. Who is Kármán? See, I'm always looking. I'm always a Kármán. I'm always looking up words. It's it's who I am. Kármán line is a conventional. While named after Theodore von Kármán, who calculated a theoretical limit of altitude for aeroplane flight at 52.1 above the Earth, the latter established Kármán line is more general. Okay, so Kármán, Theodore Kármán, he died in 63. Okay, fine. See, I know that. I live in a world of insatiable curiosity as to why, what, how do you do this? Why is this true? Why is this? Why? What does this word mean? How do you pronounce it? I'm constantly doing it. It's who I am. And I can't get people to do it. I'm always stopping. Sometimes people will say, why don't you finish your thought? Because I'm too busy breaking down what I'm saying in the meantime. Because I want to know this, and this. Because I don't have enough time. I don't know enough. And I love knowing everything I possibly can know. It's who I am. So anyway, the Kármán line, it's about 100 kilometers or 62 miles above sea level. Who uses it? The Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, the FAI. Most international bodies uses the Kármán line, K-A-R-M-A-N, with the accents over the A. Why it matters. At this height, listen to this, air is so thin that aerodynamic flight becomes impossible. You need orbital velocity to stay aloft. That's one of the reasons why one of the worst ways to save people off of mountains is with a helicopter, because the air is so thin. And air has a thickness, has a texture. Look at Bernoulli's theorem, which is how air is lift. You know, the Bernoulli's theorem. This is how planes get up in the air. Okay. So that's the Kármán line. Now, the military and NASA have their own definition. They say it's 50 miles. And this is based on earlier aeronautical criteria and the altitude at which significant atmospheric drag. All right, so that's the outer space. The general usage refers to the region above Earth's atmosphere extending outward from Earth. It includes low Earth orbit, LEO, geostationary orbit, the moon, planets, solar system, etc. This is outer space. It's a continuum. There's no sharp border in physical terms, only a kind of a conceptual idea. So it refers to beyond Earth's atmosphere extending outwards, okay? Why does this matter? The legal implications. Space treaties like Outer Space Treaty kick in after certain altitudes. In the U.S., pilots who fly above 50 miles receive their astronaut designation. 50 miles, even though we said it was 62 miles. That'll get you your designation. For space tourism, like Blue Origin, Virgin Atlantic, they use these boundaries to market suborbital flights, okay? Because all you're doing is you're going up, you say, hey, a moment of weightlessness, and then back down. The bottom line is there is no single universally agreed upon line, but the Kármán line at 100 kilometers is the most widely accepted benchmark for when Earth's atmosphere ends and outer space begins. Now, I could tell you that if I ask this question today and came back tomorrow, a significant amount of people in the country would never even look about it, wouldn't care. Nothing. It's like, imagine being at a party or there's a buffet and you're saying, what is that? I don't know. Is that a petit four? What is it? I don't know. Is that a profiterole? I don't know. It looks like one. What is that, vanilla? Eat it. Nobody would ever do that. You would go to that next level of, okay, yep, that's what I thought it was. You would investigate food, but other things don't. It's the weirdest thing. I was listening the other day to tariff talk, and nobody really said, let me explain to you the rudiments of what tariffs mean, the history, nothing. It's just this instant, this unassailable and oftentimes incorrect view of, I know what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about Lauren Sanchez. Absolutely so fascinating, it's not even funny. I think I've told you this a long time ago. One of my fascinating subjects is how I miss moms when women looked like women, and now they looked like, dare I say, fallen women. Well, we used to use the term fallen women, strumpets, harlots, courtesans, meretrices. There's a good one for you. Transgender. By the way, yesterday on ABC, I talked to a transgender woman. I ran out of. It was so fascinating. Fascinating. Christine, I think was her name. I hope. Anyway. So, by the way, she was born with a penis and a vagina. So that's true hermaphroditic. That's true. But I digress. So there was a time when we had women who looked like women. And I don't know, and it might be vis-a-vis my own particular thing, but whenever you talked about beauty and words like that, it was the era of Hollywood, Veronica Lake, people just looked, they might have had some work done, but nothing like this. Remember when the closest thing anybody ever even got was I don't know, remember around the 50s, they would have these nose cone bras, these like missiles. I was like, what is this? And you would see people standing there with these like nose cones. They were like missiles. I said, where did this come from? It was just the design. They didn't really go into the plastic surgery. Really wasn't big then. You might have had a little bit of this, but not like today. Oh, no. Something happened. And we got to the point when people said, okay, let's start with a little bit of filler. And then they're off to the races. And then they said, we're not done yet. And then Juvederm did this in the list. There is a fellow I know. I love to watch him. He is one of the most, I love to watch just for the anatomy. Let me give you this guy's name. He's a plastic surgeon in Manhattan. And he is one of the most fascinating. It's one. Oh, here. Damn it, I had it. It's one of the best I have ever seen. I'm going to show you this. This guy was so good. And he gives the names. Oh, here we go. Yep. Dr. Gary Linkov, Linkov. He goes through. I'm fascinated by it. He looked at Simon Cowell. I love anatomy names. This, the philtrum, the Korsakoff. He just makes the lines. He explains the symmetry of the face. And one of the most interesting faces of them all is Tom Cruise. He has asymmetry. He has asymmetrical face. You can put a line down the middle, and you can see his incisors of his teeth are off to the side. It's fascinating. Very rare. Well, not that rare, but and he looks at it like you would like somebody would look at a topiary or a whatever. It's fascinating. It's about the way you look. Now, those of us, some of us, most people say, well, this is it. This is it. Others will say, oh, no. Oh, no, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Okay, fine. This is where I say, goodbye, you've just left outer space. You're into this other orbit, because what happens is two things happen today, unlike any other time. First, as you know, people in various groups sometimes will have things that well, let me give you an example. Sometimes things that would be hideous to you are aspects of inclusion in various groups. For example, wrestling. To have a cauliflower ear, you know how this comes from, right? The cauliflower ear from the abrasion, and in wrestling and MMA and UCF, all that, it is a sign this guy knows what he's. It's considered like, wow, how do I get that? Because I can't be taken seriously if you're in a bar and there's somebody next to you, and he's giving you a hard time, or you're giving him a hard time, and you're kind of drunk, and you notice he's got a cauliflower ear, you're not going to mess with this guy, because he got that through fighting. Wrestling, it's a sign of wow. In hockey, teeth missing, you're it. Gordie Howe, I think, he had more, oh my God, broken, and it was a sign of courage. When you're a trumpet player, if you're dizzy, well, he had the cheek. But if you're Miles Davis, if you're anybody, Louis Armstrong, you've got the lip. Muslims, Sikhs, Sunnis, I don't know. They have you seen this spot here? This abrasion, it's like a dark, kind of like a mark from years of bowing, not bowing, but praying or whatever it is. It's a sign of real guitar players, real hardcore bluegrass types, not so much, never a nylon string, never jazz, not really electric, but I played bluegrass with one guy. His fingers looked like they were destroyed because years and years of playing with the calluses. That's what you want. Classical guitar players have James Taylor's finger. Have you ever seen his fingernails? Have you ever seen what he does for his fingernails? They're incredible. You can't believe them. He did a video on his fingernail techniques. I mean, you should see this. So why do I say this? Because certain things set you off in a tribal way. I've got an ear. I've got this. I've got an ear. I've got tattoos. Do you remember when somebody said, let's sell, and this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, let's sell jeans in a way that shows where the knees are torn or buckled or whatever it is, okay? And then you, not buckled, but you would see you can buy these expensive pants, jeans, where they're torn, and you buy them like that. It's the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. And sometimes people will go too far. There's a kind of like that space. There's a little bit of the cutting, and then there's this. This is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? There's these things that we go through. Fingernails. Go to any kind of sometimes I've known people who have no interest in their physical appearance whatsoever, but they spend a fortune on their nails with these ridiculous points and not diamonds, and it's not even real. That's another thing too, because I'm from another planet. It's not real. Those aren't real. It doesn't matter whether they're real. They're beautiful. All right, fine. We're humans that way. We've been doing this since the beginning of time, from scarring to makeup to hairstyles to different. Well, somebody along the line said, I'm going to get into this Botox thing. Do you get Botox? I've heard. Have you ever? I'm sorry to say this. Have you ever heard women sit around and say, "Well, I get Botox every week," and I want to say, do you see what you look like? They don't know. Why? because it's a guy with the cauliflower ear. It's a person without the. It says no. This tells the world I've got enough money to get the Botox. That crazy lift look, that freaky and the lips and whatever. There is a club. Well, there are some groups of people. If I took you, oh my God! One time, I swear to you, it was an event. It looked like we used to think in the old days sometimes. There's one woman in particular. I would put her up. Her face is constantly greasy. I don't know what it is, but I've seen this a couple of times. Either they get so much plastic surgery or stuff done, their face is always greasy. Not sweaty, greasy. Junk yogurt is always sweaty. You notice that? He looks kind of greasy too, but he's sweaty. This is different. People who are always sweating, it's called bromidrosis, I think. Bromidrosis, people who are always sweating too much. That's why they use sometimes they would actually use I think they would use botulinum toxin, I think, in the axillary. That's what I heard. Anyway, so this woman in particular, her face is frozen. She cannot produce an expression. She can't. I think she's beautiful. Her hair looks like somebody said, stick your head in this bucket of water, pull it up. It's dripping. That's the look. All the time. She thinks it looks great. Okay, fine. Beautiful. It's a free country. Better to think you look better than you look than you do. Who am I to say? I don't know. The lips, wax lips. I was talking to these young men yesterday. They were working the board. They didn't know what wax lips were. So when we were kids, they had these plastic things. You put these big lips. Maybe they're, I don't know, racist. Who knows? Everything's racist. They didn't know anything about carton machines. It's fantastic. Yellow pages. You've been through this. But they look like she has wax lips. Her eyes are frozen. She's paralyzed. She looks like she went through a windshield. She looks like her face. Remember when Greta Van Susteren had her work done? She looked like she had her face pressed up against a glass. And I'm thinking to myself, why are people doing this? It's one thing you say, look, I've got a cauliflower ear because I've been wrestling. I've got scars here because I'm a wrestler. Oh, in professional wrestling, when you had all the gaffes, King Curtis, Abdullah the Butcher, King Curtis was the best I've ever seen. I mean, up close. Even Bobby Heenan had a few, you normally want to get the lines and maybe, but if you're going to gaff yourself in wrestling, always go up here, have your blade up here, and then you can't tell where it's from. These other guys said, oh, no, because for me to work within the system, I want you to see my scars. Okay, that's a very roundabout way of explaining this. Lauren Sanchez is the new bride of Wildenstein. This is the woman who cannot buy any class, who has all she wants to do is, I want to say, I've got more money than you, and I'm going to have my little contoured thing, and I'm going to do this and that, and Bezos. And it's like nothing that we saw ever, even during the Gilded Age, even during the Astors and the, what was her name? The woman who died eventually, what was her name? Upper East Side, very famous. Brooke Astor. Those people. The women who lunched, the swans, that kind of thing. That's over with. That's done. That was they fascinated me because they did nothing but just smoke cigarettes, drink, and maybe do cocaine. I have no idea. But Brooke Astor was considered one of these. She was the doyenne. Today, we've got Lauren Sanchez, who looks like a transgendered, I'm sorry, or an impersonator. And that's probably more than anything else. So she's going into space. She might have been in space now. I don't know when. But she's going up. This is, of course, Bezos' longtime girlfriend. And you got to ask him, you tell me you're not serious about this. Have you ever had friends in your life where you thought, you're not marrying her, are you? Do you not see this? Maybe he says, it's okay. I got the prenup. Okay, fine. Listen, if it makes you happy, that's fine. But haven't you ever been to a wedding and you said 6 months? 6 months. And they don't see it because love and whatever, he's the frog. He was a guy who went through these terrible transformations. Now he's doing the, the things and the whatever he's doing. Because he wants so much to be. At least thank God he's not wearing a tube. Thank God. But you can tell, he was kind of like, laughing at. Other people, like Musk does Musk ever show you where he lives? Never. He's always sleeping on floors, and I wear a hat, and I want to go to space, and he's my version. He's a unique person. He's kind of backing off from Trump, but the Bezos crowd, no, they want to have the yacht. Same thing with Zuckerberg, because they're not really into it. Elon completely set the stage. And he marries this woman, or is about to, maybe, seeing's believing, who is this artificial thing. And you might have heard the headlines, she's supposedly glamorous. That's the part that is the most, because she will pay people to make sure. Because remember, when you're in this world, you will pay. You go to your PR people and you say, I've got to have so much coverage. And they say, we'll get it for you. I'm going to be on the Barbados, and I want you to have my thing where I'm rocking the bikini. I got that for you. I got the birthday party. Okay. I'm going to be going out on a date like, Taylor Swift and that Chidrulo, the NFL guy. I'm coming out, make it look like you caught me, paparazzi. They spend a fortune, and the magazines and the people will say, okay, we'll do this for you. We will do it for you because we want to create this artificial illusion because this means more to them. And here's the best part. In the old days, sometimes I could see maybe kind of, if you're in the business, maybe you need to do it. Maybe. Boy, how about that guy Cody Balmer? Who's Cody Balmer? Wow. We'll get to the Josh Shapiro. We'll do that maybe at noon. I'm going to do another live one at noon. I'm going to be doing more lives, but this is important. So anyway, so these people live in this world only for them. And here's the best part. People love it. Why? Because people sit back in the beanbag chair covered in Cheeto dust and their wife beaters or whatever you call them, and they sit back and they'll just, whatever you throw at me, I'll watch it. Lauren Babe, okay. Lauren Sanchez, okay. Whatever you give me, you determine what I find interesting. These little emotional sound bites, but let's step back. What really happened? What does this really mean? What is the significance of it? First of all, we'll talk about this notion of space. Where does it start? I promise you, you will see nobody talk about the Kármán line or how many scientists use at the border between Earth's atmosphere. Nobody cares about that. How many kilometers? I gave you the story of, well, the military says this and this and this. Nobody cares about this. Nobody. It's like because remember, we are sitting, and listen to what I'm telling you. This is what my friend who's a 4th grade teacher said. Kids today sit there and you blast them with the information. You blast them. They have no interest in this whatsoever. Whatever you give them, they'll just take it. And that's where we are. So if we sit back and say, listen, here's a machine, you figure out, I don't have any interest. You tell me what I should know. NASA and the military also are defining it differently. It's so interesting. But this Blue Origin, Bezos' space company, it flies its passengers just past the 62-mile line for about 10 minutes of weightlessness. Now, you can get weightlessness in the parabolic vectors, of planes. Now, ask somebody this. What's the difference between mass and weight? Do this one today. Do this one. Mass is M. Weight is, what's weight? What's the difference? Good luck with that. In physics and in science, when you have 1/2 mv squared, kinetic energy, that kind of thing, But if you see mg, not the car, but mg, that means weight. That's mass times the gravitational coefficient, the gravitational constant, 9.8 millimeters, 9.8 meters per second squared. That's the acceleration. That's gravitational acceleration. That's what makes mass weight. Good luck with that one. Now, of course, a lot of people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who was an absolute shill for the usual suspects because he is such a gatekeeper. He might explain that to you. But what I've just told you right now, 98% of the people don't know this. Mass weight, they never even thought about it. Mass is the same. Because we are technologically, scientifically, and naturally incurious, okay? We're just an incurious people. So that's the thing I've told you about. Now, this is not an exploration. This is a high-altitude theme park ride. This is nothing. This is in the old days we had people like, people would go and to learn something. I remember reading, one of my summer reading things in high school was Kon-Tiki, Thor Heyerdahl. Why does he want to do this? Why do people want, Vespucci, Amerigo Vespucci, John Cabot, who discovered, the people who went to learn. Yesterday, Mrs. Allen and I, we were driving back. Over the weekend, by the way, went to a great little place. It's very interesting. Have you ever gotten into New Haven style pizza? Frank Pepe? We went to Yonkers because we're bonkers for Yonkers. So on the way back, we're listening to Amelia Earhart. Remember that? Wasn't that interesting? Amelia Earhart, one of the most fascinating. She and Gore Vidal's daddy, Eugene, they used to, because when I saw Amelia Earhart, I thought, well, she might, I don't know which team. Oh no. And it was phenomenal. They risked what Lindbergh did. I don't think anybody even understands this. We don't. So this was marketed as some inspirational, whatever it was. But what it really was, it was some expensive vanity and publicity project. This is the billionaire's girlfriend, fiance, who's made more headlines more for plastic surgery than philanthropy. This is what I will never understand. All she has to do is do one thing for girls to help them with self-esteem or going to schools. Just one thing for somebody else. They're not interested. She plays astronaut for 10 minutes in her tailored, whatever it is. She walked around with that stupid, what was that thing she had? It looked like a coffee caddy, and it was a $5,000. I mean, she's obscene. Yeah. So for 10 minutes, she walks out to applause with that stupid look. I mean, it's and nobody will say what I'm saying right now. Nobody. Now, is this the future of space? Of course not. This is the future of Instagram content. This is nothing. This is about self-actualized garbage. This is about me. Space used to mean something. It meant risk. It meant discovery. It meant danger. It meant math. It meant brilliant people. It meant something. Remember when you were a kid? Were you old enough to remember when they would bring in the TV into your room? When space travel was critical, when it was fascinating? Remember that? Do you remember that space travel stuff? I do. It was important. You know what else is important? Are you drowning in debt? Struggling with credit cards or medical bills or personal loans? Well, you're not alone. There's help, real help available right now. National Debt Relief is one of the top-rated debt relief companies in America, helping thousands of individuals like you break free from overwhelming financial burdens. For anyone owing over $10,000, National Debt Relief may be able to reduce that debt by up to half or even more. No bankruptcy, no new loans, just a smarter, faster way to financial freedom. Here's how it works. Step 1, you submit the form at No Debt with Lionel. Just go there right now. Step 2, a representative will call within minutes to discuss personalized options. In step 3, they'll create an affordable plan tailored to your individual budget and timeline. Many clients become debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months, paying less than they owe and avoiding years of stress and interest. And the consultation is completely free with no obligation. So what are you waiting for? Why keep dodging calls and watching interest stack up? So go right now to nodebtwithlionel.com. That's nodebtwithlionel.com. This could be the turning point, the step toward peace of mind, control, and a fresh start. nodebtwithlionel.com. Go now. We were the McCutcheon sisters on cable access. We were identical twins. Anyway, it's a long story. No. Why? In any event, it was trend setting. We were identical twins and anyway. Now, yes, indeed. Now here's what's going on. This is the most important thing in the world. Space used to mean something. It really did. There was something that was, I don't know, exploratory. It was something. It meant risk and discovery, math and genius, and now it means nothing. As hashtags PR and Lauren Sanchez. Lauren Sanchez is the end. Is a blight on our humanity. But now you have this interesting. You have this is Bezos and Elon Musk in this unique kind of battle, approaching the idea of space differently. You see, Musk is at least pretending to care about colonizing Mars. He has something in mind. Bezos wants orbital platforms and luxury tourism. It's kind of like opening up Gaza to oceanfront property, which I cannot believe anybody ever said that, ever, with a straight face. Anyway, neither of them is asking why billions are being spent to send influencers up while basic infrastructure on Earth crumbles. I know I'm a kind of a I don't know what the word is. No, stick in the mud. Then there's this thing called the helicopter crash. The helicopter crash in New York's Hudson River, it's over with. The company's been closed. Nobody cares about this. There's been some kind of a suggestion of some Jewish, Israeli something. I don't know what the hell it was. And a very real consequence of neglect and overuse in modern aviation. Maybe that's it. I don't know what it is. But we haven't even looked. We haven't even had enough time to even ask the question. We've lost interest. Remember my 3-day rule. After 3 days, we lose all interest. On April the 10th, this helicopter operated by what was a New York Helicopter Tours crashed into the Hudson during its 8th flight of the day. Everybody was on board died. They even had, I think yesterday there was the black pilot, former Navy SEAL, and Ann Coulter even said, how come it's taking so long to figure out who he was? Why? I'll tell you why. The reason why, one of the reasons why they had a problem with this, is because she thinks everything's DEI. At least that's what she was getting at. And it only was 1 day. So nobody can look at anything without peppering it and contaminating it with all of this other extraneous political nonsense. Did you see the picture of the little girl's shoe floating in the water? It was beyond tragic. All 6 people on board died. And this Spanish family of 5 and the pilot, a former Navy SEAL. And they're also making some kind of a connection between Siemens had some deal to do with Israel or... These people aren't anti-Semitic. You don't understand. They live... There are people who say Rothschild. And they don't think about the Jewish connection. They just... Or they'll say MK Ultra or Illuminati. They're focused on finding any connection whatsoever. Not because they're motivated by hate, but they're motivated by this sense of, I don't know what the word is. 8 flights in a single day. That's a serious strain on any aircraft. Anybody asking this? And yet, it never happens. And the preliminary reports are suggesting this mid-air structural failure, possibly involving the rotor system. Gee, do you think? I saw yesterday there was this fellow who was this pilot who does this YouTube platform. He's got his white shirt, he's got his little chevrons or epaulets or whatever you want to call them, and his little lanyard. He never said anything. He's got 1 million hits. He never said anything. Oh, they're flying this way, and it's on this it's a B tour, it's under 1,300 feet. Blah, blah. He never told us anything. Just like the JFK researchers. They don't tell us anything. Witnesses said the helicopter literally, and I'm using this term correctly, broke apart in the sky. The FAA, the NTSB, everybody's investigating, but questions are already swirling. Was it overworked? Was maintenance up to speed? Could this happen again? What was the pilot pressured to keep flying? Does anybody care? Nah, we're bored with that. We're moving on next. And this, by the way, this isn't just one crash. Aviation incidents have been spiking. Have you asked why? Especially in the realm of private and tourist air travel, fast turnarounds and aging fleets and cost-cutting measures and things are putting lives at risk. It's brutal. So why don't we hear about this more? Because most people flying in these crafts aren't famous, I guess. But this time we had a Navy SEAL who died. We have a family who was wiped out, and now people maybe are paying attention. Did you hear this one? This aircraft, this family, MIT, these young people, their crash blew up, and oh my God, another one of those. Now here's another story, which is probably the most interesting to me, but people will not understand it because it involves a level of depth other than the obvious. SNL was mocking this Amy Lou Wood. This is this woman, critics say they crossed the line. And this goes to show you where today's comedy is. It's mocking derision and it's mean-spirited. So, not of a cultural story that's revealing more than, I guess, NBC kind of wants to admit, but also kind of the way we are, trolling. SNL is facing heat, as you can imagine, this week for a sketch mocking, and remember, when I say this, the first thing people say is, I don't know who she is. Well, I don't watch HBO. I don't have cable. I don't know what White Lotus is. I don't watch SNL. They love to immediately show their relevance and inclusion in the argument by saying they don't know anything about it. They don't watch it. They don't know what it is. They don't care. This is how they show. See how connected I am? I don't know anything. Well, we don't do that here. So Amy Lee Wood apparently is the actress, and she's known for her role in, I think this is Sex Education and recent appearances in White Lotus. Again, whether you know what it is, doesn't matter. So this sketch focused on her teeth with over-the-top prosthetics, making fun of her teeth. You know, the British teeth thing, with the exaggerating lisping, the constant close-ups. It was a cheap shot. How mean-spiritedness has replaced everything. It's part of the trolling mentality. Now, here's the problem. Amy Lou Wood is not a political figure. She's not a scandal magnet. She's, as people say, a talented actress who's spoken openly about body image and insecurity. Okay, fine, whatever it is. So why did SNL, who worries so much about Trump and about DEI and about all of the usual woke subjects, why do you think they're doing this? Critics are calling this skit mean and punch down comedy and with no particular purpose. And it wasn't satire. It wasn't edgy. It wasn't even funny. It was just mean. It was cruelty packaged as humor. Why? Is anybody going to talk about that? Of course not. Of course not. Takes too much time. You got to think about it. And a lot of people kind of like it because it's that lazy kind of slovenly look at things. Now, some people online are saying that this is a part of a bigger problem. SNL's growing inability to mock the powerful. They don't skewer real corruption anymore. They mock accents and appearances and looks. Half of the time what they do with Trump is his look, his skin, Alec Baldwin talking. It was just how you look. And people that they know who really aren't going to fight back or can't. It's low-hanging fruit. Instead of comedy, theoretically, that would challenge institutions or, as they always say, punch up, we get these attempts at sketches that mock an actress's teeth and dentition, xanthodontic, dare I say, while global billionaires and despots and government agencies are asleep at the wheel. Nobody's talking about that. Nothing. And you will never see them ever make fun of Bibi Netanyahu. Oh, yes. Right. It's funny how SNL came originally from people who were kind of ordinary looking folks, but different. John Belushi and others. So understand something. As we watch this Lauren Sanchez float for 10 minutes in a glorified elevator, which is what this thing is, to the stratosphere, real things are happening down here on Earth. And even the stuff that you think is not very important, it says a lot about us in terms of how we work socially and the like. Aircraft are failing, people are dying, comedians are bullying people who aren't others, billionaires are building brands and not rockets. And we're being fed a steady diet of distraction, but very, very unidimensional, low-hanging fruit distraction. That's the real story. That's what it's about. And it's, whether it's a helicopter disaster, kind of swept under the rug, like, oh, well, whatever. Smear campaigns, this space nonsense. Nobody ever, I guess what I'm saying is we are losing, dare I say, our sobriety. Not in terms of us being drunk, but we're not able to do this. Because let me explain something to you. America is becoming more and more and more unserious and unable to handle the real stuff. And what is really adding to this is YouTube, Rumble, and others. It gives the veneer, it gives the impression of really being deep. One of the most dangerous people around here is Candace Owens. Because her focus is on anger, meanness, and anger about feelings that she feels about herself. She's pushing it out towards you. You either get it or you don't. And the real people in the world who were making the biggest headway, Alex Jones, were almost crushed. I hope somehow there's a secret cabal of brilliant billionaires who are going to bail him out. That's where we are right now. We have a lot to talk about. I haven't even gotten to this Josh Shapiro case, which is brilliant. Not brilliant, it's a horrible case. We'll get to that later, and some other things as well. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe as well. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Let me thank to our sole benefactor this morning, White Monkey. Thank you so much for your incredible, your kindness and your contribution. You are our winner today, our sole benefactor of the show today. Thank you so much for being a part of us. Anyway, so we see more of that. Don't forget Lionel Legal, and make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. We have more coming up, my friends. So get ready. Have a great and glorious day. We'll talk to you later. Stay tuned because I've got more stuff coming up. And don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That.